Hey, I'm Micki,
And I'm Kat.
and we're Kath and Mouse Astrology. Welcome to the new moon in Taurus of 2025,
Hmm.
Taurus season.
For a season. I am spending it in the woods, so I might be a little laggy.
We still love to see you, and the woods are beautiful. I'm introduced.
Very nice out. Springtime.
Yeah, I love it. So our moon is in Taurus, but it's also square. Uh, it's in opposition to Black Moon Lilith, and Black Moon Lilith is square to Mars and Pluto. So yesterday was the Mars Pluto opposition exact for the third time. And that Mars Pluto
Mm.
opposition was in exact square with the sun and Black Moon Lilith, but we're just now coming off of that today at the moon. But for all practical purposes, we're dealing with a big old square in the sky.
Hmm. With some heavy hitter points in the chart.
Exactly. Are you able to do any Sabian symbols for us out in the sticks?
Yeah, we can try. I brought it with me.
Cool. Well, actually, before I
So,
even
did you
pull it
say
up, yeah, tell us about the sun and moon at 7 Taurus, 7 degrees Taurus.
seven Taurus is a sleigh without snow,
Oh man, I remember this
which
one.
seems like a square. Seems like a square of a symbol. Not moving. Stuck at the corner, stuck at the crossroads.
A sleigh without snow. Ouch. You're having to pull it over the rocks.
No, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but if you're really determined,
Yeah, if you're really determined.
I mean, I was raised in Colorado, and we would go out, into the snowy area on skis or with a sled or something, and you'd be fine. But then there sometimes you'd hit a patch of dirt,
Uh-huh.
so you'd have to just make it through it till you got to the snow.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not undoable, just a challenge.
very challenging, and like you say, it could completely stop you.
Yeah.
It could completely stop you. It could certainly, mm, it'd be a rough patch.
Yeah, it's a rough patch.
Lay without snow. Ouch.
What
Okay.
else is what's the black moon at?
The black moon is again that we're just off the square, so it's at 3 degrees, and you might do four because it's uh, beyond the midpoint of Scorpio.
A massive rocky shore resists the pounding of the sea.
That seems so relevant.
That's another rough spot.
Enough rough spot. Read it
It's
one more time.
having to bear down. A massive rocky shore resists the pounding of the sea.
Yeah, there's something. You know, Taurus is Earth, and we're talking about the Earth here, both with the ground being preventing the sleigh from moving, and the rocky shore
Mm-hmm.
resisting the waves or vice versa. There's that
Okay.
there's the tension uh, of the opposition and the pressure of the square,
Mm-hmm.
and those two are different, right? And we have to think about this a second. Tension is like uh, two people pulling on a rope, like a tug of war.
Right.
Pressure is, ooh, squeeze
Right.
together, squeeze together. And after a while, when you squeeze together,
Oh,
so now squeeze together,
yeah.
if done right, you
Yeah.
turn the corner. That's why the square helps us turn the corner. The tension of the opposition requires us to put two ideas together at once so that we can come up with a with, a place where we can find solace in oppositions.
Right, right.
So I don't
Or the
know.
turning point.
Or the turning point. Black moon, we don't, since black moon represents the wild feminine, that we don't even recognize that dark place in ourselves, in our psyches. How are we to know? We may be opposing ourselves. We may be in tension with our own subconscious frustrations and desires and such. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And probably those things are like so ancient that they are massive rocky shorelines, eternally resisting the pounding of the sea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So interestingly, that feels so right, because if with Pluto in this mix on the square point at 3 degrees of Aquarius, almost 4. So maybe read 3 and 4. Pluto's where
This is new territory for us with Pluto.
this is brand new territory for Pluto, and this is where the um, depths are exposed, eh?
A council of ancestors.
Uh-huh.
Like the rocky shoreline, eternally resisting the pounding of the sea.
That seems very appropriate. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely. So the Council of Elders, that is our, if you look at a bookshelf in a library with a lot of old books on it, there's the Council of Elders. True.
Yeah.
I mean, the knowledge
Yeah.
and
And
wisdom
your
from,
bone.
say one more time.
And in your bones. Your like bone deep knowledge, the stuff you just know in the core of your bones.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The wild feminine is maybe unknown and unknowable, but very powerful, and is acting from a more of a Kali. I mean, can we use that image to describe Black Moon? Does that seem relevant to you, Kali?
Yeah. Yeah, Kali. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you think of another mythological figure that Black Moon seems like? I mean, because it feels like there's a lot of like when we don't recognize what's going on in our subconscious, things come out crooked and maybe cause problems. When this is at a large societal level, um, Kali might get out some tools of destruction.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
I'm thinking of Demeter too, even like shutting shit down and like a sacred rage.
Sacred rage. Yeah, that term has come up a lot lately. I think that there is some reality here for a sacred rage, a sacred
Mhm.
feminine rage.
Mhm.
There's a correlation in our past, and I know that Chris Brennan, and he does a podcast with shoot, I can't remember his name. No, it'll come to me. But on his website, he's got some information about the history of this transit, and
Mhm.
going back through the history of the Pluto Mars oppositions through history. Kind of scary, but it's worth taking a look at. So if anybody wants to go deeper into this, I recommend checking out Chris Brennan's astrology podcast, because it's very, very in depth in that. He goes a couple hours into this topic. But shall I show our chart? We've got one more point, though. Wait a
Yes.
minute. We've got one more point, and that's
Art.
the opposition point of Mars, of course. And that's at 4 now. It was at 3
Oh,
yesterday. So if you'd read 3 first, because that was the exact square. And then today on,
Leo.
yeah, 3 Leo.
A man formally dressed stands near trophies he brought back from a hunting expedition. 4. Rock formations tower over a deep canyon.
That's the one. That's the one that fits our archetype with the rocky shore. So we've got the rocky shore.
Right.
It's resisting the waves. We've got the sleigh without snow having to be drug across rocks. And read that one more time
Mhm.
of Mars on 4 degrees.
Rock formations tower over a deep canyon.
And
And the
three,
council of the
and
ancestors.
the Council of the Ancestors. Oh, that feels so much like I don't know. You did you ever watch Star Trek?
Yeah.
There was a Star Trek episode where the whole crew gets involved with this guy who's like super powerful and is like really twisting their heads around and puts them through all these motions and everything. And finally, towards the end of the show, you hear a voice from above going, "It's time to come home. You have to quit playing with them now." Do you remember that episode?
No, but that's a good one.
I don't know. What do you think of when you think of all this solidity, this earthy, Taurian, Capricorn, Virgoan solidness, and then it's that in a square with in signs that are well, we've got Aquarius, of course, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. So we're dealing with water and fire. Um, Water puts out the fire. Aquarius.
Are these all the fixed signs? Are they
This
all
is
the fixed signs?
yes, yeah.
I, it makes me feel like maybe there are things that we know aren't working right on a bone deep level, and maybe maybe we should attend to them, but also maybe they're just things that have been going on for a really long time and it's really an ancestral thing. And like you say, we're just being played with.
Uh-huh. Kind of
Like
interesting.
it's out of our hands. Maybe it's out of our hands.
I'm going to share.
Bigger than us.
It,
Sure.
it feels big, doesn't it? It feels big. Let's look at what we're talking about. If I can share my screen, can I do that? How do I do that? Sorry, thought I had it all set up there. Can we see it? Are you able to see that giant square?
No,
No, that's all right. I
I just
think
see that. There it is.
okay, good. So this is
That is a big box.
the big box, big red box. And again, it was more exact yesterday with the Mars Pluto opposition was exact yesterday. Oh, I went back a minute. That didn't help us.
Okay,
I'm going to show
that's
you.
okay.
That's all right. So we had an exact opposition. This was the third opposition of Mars and Pluto. So you
Yeah.
might want to look back to December and how sorry it was. I wrote down when it was, and now I don't have it. I'll have to remember it off the top of my brain. Anyway, this is our third one.
And
And
it's also a Mars trine Neptune
yeah, we.
in
I
it.
mean, it's out of sign um with them. So that's a loose trine, if you will. It's
No,
five
Neptune's
degrees,
in Aries.
right? But it's 5 degrees.
Oh,
Oh wait,
okay.
wait. Yeah, sorry. It's only
No,
three
it's three
degrees.
and zero.
Yeah, it's only 3 degrees with Neptune.
Hmm.
Right. I was looking.
Interesting.
I was looking back at Saturn. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it just came off the trine with Saturn, and now we've
Mm,
got the trine with Neptune. There's
yeah.
also look at the trine with Saturn and Uranus, and we've got a trine with the sun, moon, and Jupiter, or a sextile, excuse me.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Sextile between Saturn and Uranus. That seems beneficial or not. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Between water and earth. I mean, technically it's a beneficial angle, but it's weird
Saturn,
playing
sorry, go
structure
ahead.
and chaos working together. How does that make sense?
Well, Saturn is still is conjunct Venus. It's Venus is moving on, but it's still conjunct. They're still loosely conjunct the North Node. So
Right.
we have essentially have a triple conjunction, and that triple conjunction is sextile a planet of change in a sign that doesn't want to change and a sign that represents the earth. So
Right.
one way to look at it that is there's a beautiful structure that we're moving towards,
Yeah.
Venus, Saturn, North Node, and a
Because
change coming in the earth.
Saturn is in its detriment in Pisces, right? So everything else in that mix up outweighs Saturn at the moment. So where we want to go, what we value, revolutionary change, all of these things are dominating what is usually the dominator.
Yeah. And Mars is in a PowerPoint. Mars
And
rules Aries. Now, of course, Neptune's in Aries. Saturn is not, but I think that this is going to be impacting our future as Saturn moves into Aries and conjuncts Neptune.
absolutely
So we're going to have
fascinating.
3 months of Saturn in Aries this year, and then it will retrograde back into Pisces for the rest of the year. So we're going to get a taste.
Damn.
And I don't know what it's going to be like to have Saturn in Aries, but I know that Saturn in Pisces has been pretty funky.
It, I will be happy because I have been in a Saturn opposition for like to my natal for like 3 years now.
Right, right. And me too. So not
Been
to my
very
Saturn, but to
transformative.
my
So
natal Venus. Right now, that Venus in the sky is sitting opposite my personal Venus. So this opposition of Saturn Venus or this conjunction of Saturn Venus is opposite my natal. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm
right.
feeling it.
For me, it's been like sitting right on top of my natal south node.
Yeah, that south node there is interesting. We talked about this before. I also have a south node in my north node is in Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like 15, so it's beyond that. It's not conjunctive, but it's conjunct it's a opposite by sign. So this is something important to look at. I think the two main signs you want to focus on is Pisces and Aries. But if you're like, well, I don't have anything in Pisces, look across to Virgo because this is where the nodes are for the next year, almost
Right.
year and a couple months.
Right.
And if you don't have anything in Aries, look across over there to Libra because and then the square of that. So this this particular big square in the sky is between the Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and uh, Scorpio axis. But
Right.
because of the major impact on Aries and Pisces, this is impacted. I don't think anybody's free from any impact here, except for maybe Gemini's and Sag.
Mm.
Cancer's getting a break finally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Finally.
finally, Cancer's getting a break as Mars has moved on from there,
Right.
and
Is Capricorn getting a break?
Gemini is the blessing of Jupiter,
Right.
right? And Sagittarius is not in conflict, but everybody else is like kind of in a and being challenged. Everybody else, I think, is being challenged. This is challenging for a lot of people right now.
Mm.
So some astrologers are talking about this opposition as being, warlike, because Pluto's in the sign of the people, Mars is acting up stuff, and Black Moon is there, so we may not be knowing what's actually going on, but the sun is
Right.
illuminating it. So this may be something that comes out, in world events that we see as well as in our lives.
Right. Or on some other plane that isn't quite the one that we're existing on.
Exactly. Now, I'm real
Yeah.
curious about you know, Chiron at 23 degrees is essentially in aspect with Jupiter, which seems like a positive option for healing, opportunity for healing. So I'm curious, and sorry, wait a minute. I've scooted back and I have to go forward again because I scooted us back a day. I really want to be on the 27th. But we still, because then the moon is not part of this. So that was confused.
Um,
It's just Chiron with this it's still within 3 degrees of a trine,
Sextile.
sextile. Yeah. So what do you get for 23 or 24? Because it's very close to 24 Aries.
Okay. 23 is an open window and a vast net curtain blowing into a cornucopia. So that's like the wind filling your basket of plenty.
Yeah.
And then 24, a double promise reveals its inner and outer meaning. So rainbows and cornucopias for Chiron.
Yeah. Nice. And 20 Jupiter with 20 and 21 Gemini.
Ooh, a tumultuous labor demonstration
Oh,
and dancing couples crowd the barn and a harvest festival.
interesting. Yeah. So read the 20 again.
A tumultuous labor demonstration.
And we read 23 Chiron.
Which one was
That's
that?
that's the air in the cornucopia.
Oh, sorry, back to Aries. An open window and a net curtain blowing into a cornucopia.
That feels relevant.
Winds of change.
Yeah, winds of change, and the cornucopia is um, perhaps uh, representing the positive aspect of 20 Gemini,
Right.
right?
I mean, I'd say Gemini is always positive.
Yeah. So what do we get for 27 and 28 of Pisces?
A fertile garden under the full moon and light breaking into many colors as it passes through a prism.
That's nice. And
Yeah.
that's in trine with that is actual a trine, a 90-degree aspect. Um, Not exactly though, with Mars. That does not seem quite right, but it's off sign. So again, it's off of that. What's
Yeah.
um
It's Neptune that's trying Mars.
Neptune? Yeah, it's Neptune. What is Neptune's at 0 or 1 degrees of Aries?
Oh, that's Gemini. Oh, my stuff's not in order. A woman has risen out of the ocean, a seal embracing her, or a comedian entertaining the group.
Wow.
Com-
Huh. How do you take that?
What's it for? Is that Neptune?
Yeah.
I feel like we're moving towards one, and it's Neptune is either or. It's the disillusionment and the illusion and the dreams. And the comedian can make light of reality, but the comedian can also be just a distraction.
Good point. Great analogy. Absolutely.
And I feel like those are the times that we're in.
Yeah. You
You
don't know.
either face reality with humor or you abide by the distractions.
There used to be a representation in my youth, I'm sure it's still out there, of like the jester, the court jester, the clown, with one with a big frowny face and one with
Yeah.
a big smile. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Kind of representing a yin yang opposition of that clown motif.
Hmm.
So that's kind of interesting. Read that one more time.
What number was it again?
I think that was one of uh Aries.
A comedian entertaining the group.
Yeah.
Entertaining is to hold between, etymologically speaking, to entertain. I
Ah,
had a
yeah.
professor that was big on that.
Yeah,
To hold something in
etymology is helpful.
between, to take a break from.
Uh-huh.
It's
And
the
that makes
distraction.
a distraction, but a distraction that could be very important, like a Shakespearean play that teaches, or Aesop's fables, or
Yeah,
um, storytelling in the sense that it is instructive.
right.
So these are very interesting symbols. I'm sorry, I have pounding in my background, and that
No,
might be distracting, but I don't think there's anything I can do about it. So we're gonna
I
let
can't hear it because I have birds chirping and there's a
okay.
stereo playing and
Go to trade environments. Can we do that? This is our Libra Aries axis.
oh yeah.
Somehow I'm stuck in the city with pounding, and you're in the beautiful woods
Yeah.
with Neptune. See, you've got Neptune there, and I'm as far away from Neptune as I can get.
Over there by the South Node.
Over there by the South Node. That's right. So I'm going to stop our share now and come back, kind of wrap it up.
Okay.
Um, I think, this is a pretty powerful time, and it's opening us into, as you pointed out, brand new stuff with Pluto in Aquarius. We don't know where this is going. And I think for most of us, unknown can be scary. So finding ways to do what you're doing, put yourself in nature, put your feet on the ground, maybe go
Mhm.
collect rocks.
Yeah.
All
Mhm.
that symbology with rocks and the earth. You know,
Right.
I take off your shoes, walk in the dirt, gather some rocks, connect to earth.
Yeah. Maybe some time at the edge of rock and water, resisting the pounding of the sea. If you can sit with the deep, dark unknown by the edge of the water.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah.
Or in
Yeah.
the canyons. Or in the canyons where
Yeah.
you're sitting opposite the Council of Ancestors.
Or even if you can't, if you're, stuck somewhere like I might be, one of those nice crystal candles that you can burn and soak in a tub, have a
Oh yeah.
rock candle that you can burn to symbolize that, and put some herbs and spices in your bathtub,
Good
or
idea.
you know find a way to, like you say, get near some water. I think that's a great idea too. Mix that earth and water up a little.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Let the water to help you get flow past that hard square we got going on.
that's right. Maybe it'll freeze and give us something we can slide on over on the on the
On
sled.
the
Pull
play.
that sled over that.
I mean, it's still spring. We could get more cold.
We could. So yeah, it's a moon that's asking us to dig deep. And there's a corner to turn, but is the council of the elders giving us wisdom we can use
Right.
to take the steps we need to.
Right.
So anyway, have a great moon, y'all. We'll
Happy
see you
new moon
next
in
time.
Taurus.
What?
Bye. Happy
Bye.
new moon in Taurus.
Happy new moon, Taurus.